G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel. As promised, I thought I would bring you out here on this sort of hazy day in Saskatchewan, and I'll talk about the Weebill-S, the Z50, and how I'm getting along with them. And then after this, we'll talk about the current weather situation in Saskatchewan, and yeah, we'll just show you how things are going in the province of Saskatchewan with the weather these days. So, as you can kind of tell already, I've done some modifications to the Weebill-S just to make it a little more user-friendly for me. Now, when you get a Weebill-S, they give you this tripod base, which can be unscrewed from the bottom and attached up here to use as a carrying handle. But I've been finding that I don't like using it that way. Sometimes I need a two-hand grip in order to use this properly. So what I did was, I went on Amazon and I got this small rig accessory handle. It's designed specifically for this gimbal. So that helps me hold on to it. And also when I've got the 20mm Nikkor on my Z50 with the FTZ adapter, I find that I cannot mount my wireless Go and have it still clear this motor right here. So when I use that combination, I have to have my wireless Go up here instead. And it just barely works. But it does work, so that's good. Now, how am I liking this gimbal so far? Well, I've used it in, I think, 2 or 3 videos now. And at first it was a little much to get used to, but now I'm finding I really like it, actually. I don't use any of the more advanced modes like Vortex or what have you, but I'm getting used to it pretty quickly, and it's becoming a favorite tool of mine for video shooting. Now, the Z50. How am I liking that so far? Is it everything I wanted it to be? Well, yes, actually it is. It's complementing the D800 nicely. Is it the best crop sensor camera in Christendom at this moment? I very much doubt it. I think Sony's got them beat on that. But remember what I said in my first video. I needed it to complement the D800, and it has to take over for the D800 anytime I might need it to. So if the D800 falls off the tripod and breaks, this thing has to go on there right away and take over. And it's also got to be small and portable and unobtrusive and not draw attention to itself. And it does all of that perfectly. How does it do for low light shots? Well, there again, remember I said that it had to complement the sensor in the D800, and it does. It's almost, if not exactly as good as the D800 for low light performance. I've shot it both with still images and video, and it's just great. It works fine up to ISO 3200 to 6400, and that's what I needed it to do. And the quality is just more than acceptable for me. So I'm happy. Now, we'll go back to the gimbal here for a second. I did add one more thing to it, and that's this quick release plate. This is a Nicey Rig quick release plate for it. This is Arca Swiss compatible. And the reason I did that, even though the quick release plate on the gimbal itself is Arca Swiss compatible itself, is I'm finding the default quick release plate to be a little bit much to handle. It's very awkward to deal with when it's in my camera bag because it's that long from there to there. It's about 5 inches. So it takes up a lot of space. And since I've got this Peak Designs capture plate on the bottom of the Z50, which suits it perfectly, I decided I wanted something on the gimbal that was a little more easy to deal with. So I'm just going to show you just what I'm talking about here, or try to. I'll just set you down here, pan up a little bit so I can show you how this attaches. So I can take my Z50, see if I can do this one-handed, and I can't. It just slides right on like that. You just tighten her right down, and she's ready to go. And if I need to take this off this gimbal and throw it on a tripod, I can easily. The quick release plate on the gimbal itself is a little troublesome for that kind of thing. So yeah, that's about where I'm at with this stuff right now. I'm liking the Weebill-S. I'm liking the Z50 a lot. And it's just all getting done the way I like it to get done. One more thing I forgot to mention. One thing I like about the Weebill-S is I can take my little accessory handle off and I can attach it right here. This gives me the opportunity to use it as a handle there, and I can throw a light on the end here with the cold shoe and throw a little light on what I need to take pictures of. I actually used that ability recently. So anyway, I think we're pretty much done with this stuff right now, so I'm going to fire all this up and then we'll take a look at the crops and we'll show you why Saskatchewan's kind of hurting right now. Back in a second. Okay, we are on the Z50 and Weebill, and hopefully you can see just how hazy and smoky it is today. It's been like this for over a month. Actually, the better part of 2 months now. The smoke from the wildfires isn't too bad today, but it's still very visible. And I'm going to show you a graphic on screen right now. This is the current wildfire situation in Saskatchewan, and as you can see, we've got over 100 still burning right now, and many of those are uncontrolled. It's just been super hot, super dry, and there's been really no rain to speak of at all. It's really been a terrible year. And it's really hurting the farmers, or it's starting to anyway. Right now you're looking at a wheat field. And it's not much of a wheat field right now. Let's go up a little closer. Look at all these grasshoppers jumping all over the place. That's part of the problem. And here's your wheat crop for Saskatchewan this year. Still very green, not very tall. It just hasn't been growing at all because there's been no rain to speak of. It's just been awful. Right now, our fire ban situation is pretty extensive. Just about everywhere in southwest Saskatchewan has a fire ban going, and I'll show you a graphic here of that situation. So yeah, you don't want to start any fires in this kind of weather. And I just want to point something else out real quick to you. When there are fire bans like this, and the fire situation is as extreme as it is, I do not park my car any place where the exhaust can start a fire. It stays on roads, whether they be grid roads like this one or pavement. You just don't want to have your vehicle any place where it might set things off, because in weather like this, it's really hard to control. And we've got another wheat field here on the other side of the road. That one's in just as bad shape. I'll bring you down here. The stuff at the side of the road is actually taller than the crop right now. So yeah, pretty miserable situation. Grasshoppers everywhere. Crops barely off the ground. I'm just hoping we get a lot more rain real soon, because the situation for the farmers isn't very good at all. Now, do I want to put the drone up? It's kind of windy right now for drone activity. So I think we won't do that today. And even the road, look at this. We actually got a little bit of rain last night. And look at this, the road is still just bone dry. And I expect it's going to be bone dry for the rest of the summer. What rain we get, even if it's a gully washer. And look, there's another locust. Or grasshopper, or whatever the heck that is. Those things are just all over the place now. Eating all the crops and making sure we can't have our bread. So yeah, I just really hope we get a lot more rain soon. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and try the drone. I don't think it's quite windy enough to really give it any fits. So I'll throw that in at the end of the video here. And I will see you in my next video.